Welcome to day 24 of our 30-day creative and transformational guide. I am LaStephanie, your spiritual bestie. And today is going to be about polishing your purpose. We're still on that topic. We're almost through, guys. The remainder, I believe, is just polishing everything to make sure it is exactly what you want it to be. So today's exercise is a stress test. Place an old habit in a new context. Now, as vague as this sentence is, it's really up to you to decipher how you see this for yourself. So you could look at it as like place an old habit, something bad that you've been wanting to get away from. So let's say that you have an issue with let's say cleaning, right? You clean, but you don't really throw out anything. You could look at this and say, okay, I'm going to clean, but I'm not going to throw out anything, but I want to place into a new context. What if you treated your bank account the same way? How would that look, right? You could see it as every time I'm going into budget, I don't necessarily throw out anything that's bad, or I don't really check to see how things are working. I just kind of just glaze over it and, keep finding myself in debt. Is that helpful? What type of stress does that put onto your financial area of life? Or you could see it as an old habit, like I am really great at cleaning my house, but I'm bad at, you're good at cleaning your house, but you're bad at cleaning the kitchen. What makes you so good at cleaning the house, like the living spaces, versus cleaning the kitchen? Like, what is the issue there? And essentially what this does is it shows you that the things that you truly care for, or the things that you're lacking in, if you were to switch areas, you would kind of see that what you're doing either makes sense for you or it doesn't make sense for you, or you would really find that the way that you maneuver in different areas of life can fit in different areas of life to make things easier for you. So I guess when I wrote this, the purpose that I came up with was, it's easy for someone to tell you how to do something, right? You could read one book, and that book is going to tell you exactly what you want to hear for that moment. But, we're all wired differently. Our brains are different. So if you're not reading a book from someone who has the same issues as you mentally, or the way that you process information, then it will make it a little bit difficult, or you may find that you're actually working too hard in areas when it doesn't have to be so difficult. All this is to get your mind working on different things. I mean, if you don't quite understand it, I don't think this is something that you really have to push yourself to do, but it is something that I think would be a great exercise for someone struggling in one area of life to, bring themselves into a better space. So for me, I've been through this a lot. And I guess if I had to talk about right now, placing an old habit into a new context, spending time scrolling on social media and switching that to, instead of scrolling on social media, I have switched my attention into my real life and used those moments where I feel like, I don't have much to do. Let me just scroll for a little bit. I take those moments and I now have thought, no, let me put this into something more, situated for what I got going on now. Things that I can improve on. Like, let me spend time researching or let me spend time organizing all my notes. I may come off as a control freak, and honestly, and that's fine. I just think that this is what works for me. I find that when I have everything where it's supposed to be, it just makes things easier when things start to become chaotic. So if I had to put this in terms of like astrology, I would say my Aries gives me the chaos, right? My sun is there, so I burn chaos. Chaos is something that it fuels my adventures, right, as an Aries. But then I wouldn't say right across, but in my Virgo area, I don't have anything there, but it is in my second house. So second house is, where all your financial assets are. So if I'm not careful, I can miss out on a lot of opportunities because I can live in that chaos and I can just enjoy the slow burn, if you will, of doing absolutely everything I want to do and taking no accountability, no responsibility to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. So let's just say, for instance, now, right? So since I have started this 30-day journey, I have been basically putting my ducks in a row. I have been putting them in a row so tight that my notes, they are separated by like my car, what I need to do, my oil change maintenance list, just different things that I want to make sure that I keep on top of. It's going to be very important for me. So I have a space in my notes just for that. Well, it's in my reminders in case I need to put a date or anything. Your notes won't remind you, but I can create a note and I can put a reminder on it and go back and take that reminder off or let that be the end of it, So I'm utilizing organizational tools in a way that keeps me organized the best way possible. I have an area for my grocery list, so when I'm going through the house and I'm finishing the last piece of butter and that last corner of milk could be refilled, I am taking the time out and doing those things versus saying, forget it, I'll just wing it. And by the time the kids want me to bake a cake, I got everything. Like, it may seem obsessive, but it's not to me because I know that I suffer from, I don't really want to say it because I really don't want to speak that over myself, but I've had moments where I have been very obsessive about like, this needs to be clean. I have to go check this 2-3 times. Like, I have to make sure that this is working. And I stopped myself. I didn't need anybody to tell me what it was. I just so happened to stumble across like the definition of it. And I was like, oh, that's me. That's definitely what it is. But I find that when I research things and I find out what it is, it's easier for me to stop doing it because I know that that's not something that, I don't want to say healthy, but it's also something that I don't want to be. I don't want those titles. I don't truly live for a title when it comes to like diagnoses. So I just put myself in a place where everything that I'm supposed to have, I make a space for it. And when it happens, it happens. When it doesn't, it doesn't. But it allows me to check this every now and then, check off everything's off my list, and everything's already on there so I can see everything in one place. So just think about that. And that's just how I have worked this, and I've essentially rewired myself, not just my brain, but myself in a way that teaches me that everything I really want, I have to truly work to get. As much as I would love for Prince Charming to pull up and sweep me off my feet, that's just not something that I feel is possible in this day and age. It's not enough people doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that's what makes dating hard for those who are really feel like they may be ready. I don't know if I'm truly ready, but when the day comes, it'll come, and I pray that, I find my forever person and live happily ever after. But it's no rush, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at things. And if this is something that you think would help you, try it out. If you don't believe it's going to help you, don't worry about it. Just do all the things that you need to be doing. I can definitely sympathize with this 30-day journey and every day being something different. Plus, adding on the new stuff on top and reading your scripture and reading your affirmations and meditating. It's going to bring a lot of things into your life that if you're not careful, you're going to find yourself back at square one. I mean, even people, the more I work on myself, the more men that walks into my life and feel like, oh, I found you. Here's my number and you better take it and you better give me yours. And I will give my number out, but it don't really go too far because I just think it's so crazy for men to think that way. I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe I get it too often and I'm so over it, but men have a lot of nerve to come into somebody's life knowing that you don't want to do good or you don't want to be the best for that person. It's very toxic. So just be very, very cautious of when you start to do better, you're going to notice a lot of things that's going to start coming towards you. But if you are grounding yourself in what you want, you can check that off your list. Does he have all these things that I'm seeking from a man? If he doesn't, kiss him goodbye. I mean, don't literally kiss him goodbye, but don't get sucked back into the nothingness that can come when you're doing your best. All right, so that's all I have. Thank you for listening. If you need me, you know where to find me right now. Comment, likes, share, follow, all those good things, and definitely have a blessed day. Bye.